evening and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news from Trinidad. An autopsy is expected to be carried out on Thursday on the body of a Valsayn woman who was found dead in her home on Wednesday. Vasella Richards, 79, was found with her hands bound on the bedroom floor of the house at Valsayn Avenue, off Ashland Avenue. There were no marks of violence on the body. Richards had no children and lived alone at the house, located at the end of a private road in the upscale neighborhood. She was a successful theater actress who had been living in Trinidad for the past 20 years, but still held UK citizenship. Richards' body was discovered by a friend who went to check after being unable to reach her since Tuesday evening. The woman arrived at the house and found the front gate closed. She called out to Richards several times after finding the front door ajar and stumbled upon the body as she searched the house for the elderly woman. A guard employed by SWAT Estate Police said officers had carried out 2 daily patrols at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. and would have swiped their security pass at Richards' house during those patrols, but were only notified around 12:30 p.m. of the discovery of her body. We tell you now that the United States on Wednesday called on Asian Prime Minister Ariel Henry to expedite a political transition as armed gangs seek his ouster amid a collapse in security and humanitarian crisis in the Caribbean nation. Henry, Haiti's unelected interim leader, has been in the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico since Tuesday, apparently unable or unwilling to return to his strife-torn country after traveling to Kenya to rally security backing. A State Department spokesperson said the U.S. was not pushing for Henry to resign, but the U.S. wanted him to expedite a transition of political power. The United States also said it is not helping Henry return home. Henry had traveled abroad to secure Kenya's proposed leadership of a long-delayed UN-ratified security mission he first requested in 2022 to help fight the increasingly powerful gangs. But countries have been slow to volunteer support. There is no set deployment date, and questions remain on who will staff it and how it will operate. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, said on Wednesday that Washington hoped that action will take place quickly. Local rights group RNDDH said that at least 9 police stations had been tortured, while 21 public buildings or shops had been looted, and over 4,600 prisoners escaped in the past week. And now for international news. The U.S. Supreme Court has set April 25 as the date it will hear Donald Trump's claim of presidential immunity from prosecution on charges related to his efforts to overturn his 2020 election loss, the last day of oral arguments of this current term. The court released its updated argument calendar a week after it agreed to take up the case and gave the former president a boost by putting on hold the criminal prosecution being pursued by Special Counsel Jack Smith. It previously had disclosed which week it would hear the matter, but had not given a precise date. The justices will review a lower court's rejection of Trump's claim of immunity from prosecution because he was president when he took actions aimed at reversing President Joe Biden's election victory over him. Trump, the first former president to face criminal charges, is poised to become the Republican nominee to challenge the Democratic president in November 5 U.S. election. His last rival for the nomination, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, pulled out of the race on Wednesday. The immunity case against Trump, the nation's top judicial body, whose 6-3 conservative majority includes 3 justices appointed by Trump into the election fray. I am KERESE Gonzalez. Thank you for watching.